Hey everybody, how's it going? Just puttering in the yard. It's actually winter now. It's cold here, and we got a bunch of snow last night. I'll have to do some snow clearing today. But today's video, I'm just gonna putter in the shop. I gotta bring the old F250 in again. Check this out. Now these running boards, I knew they were gonna be a problem, and this one decided to give it up this week. Which is fine. I want to take these things off here anyways. Size, I wear 13 or 14 boots, and like my foot doesn't really fit on here. It's not very grippy, and I just don't really like these. They're also super rotten underneath. There's a bar that goes from here to here, and the center of it's actually missing. So today's video, I'm going to bring this thing in and see if I can rip these off. And then I got some generic step bars. They look kind of like car step bars or bully. I don't even know if they're going to fit, but first steps first is I'm going to take these, I think these are Lund or something. I think you could order these factory back in the day. They look like they've been on here as long as this truck's been around. And I'm going to take them off and see if I can fit some step bars on. Okay folks, let's climb underneath here. I had a quick look at the fasteners. I got my light here. You guys can see this thing's broken, and I'll be happy to get it off. I don't know if these new steps are going to work, but first thing I'm going to do is undo the chain for my thingamajigger, my who's and what's it with the whatchamacallit. This thing here. It's stuck, friends. I'm going to grab a croissant wrench and undo it. Oh, I see. There's a couple of brackets. This thing's rotten. The entire center is missing. I just got to grab a crescent wrench here. One of these here units. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Oh. I know a lot of guys say, hey, you should work on that truck a lot. I like puttering, and I don't know. These old trucks, I like toying with them. This truck's been great so far, and once we do the body work, this thing will be a real head turner. I think a lot of people stop me. I'll be fueling up at the truck stop. A lot of people come over and say their grandpa had one of these, or something like that. It's pretty cool. I like this truck. There we go. Okay, so these two brackets that go to the one cab seam, and then there's these two U-hangers, and those just go through. You guys can see there's nothing in the middle. You can see my breath. It's still cold on the floor here. And yeah, so it looks like I'll just have to undo a couple bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this thing should come off. Well, friends, I thought I hit record, and I did not. I pulled all those fasteners off, and off came this unit. A little bit better. You guys can see there's a couple of hangers, a couple of brackets. These things are trashed. They're in good shape. I put them for sale, but I don't think anybody's going to want those. They're trashed. Post a comment if I'm wrong, if those are like collectible or something. Okay, so looks like these go here. Ugh, I don't know, friends. Yeah. Well, I guess universal isn't universal, is it there, eh? These sticking into there, they're too far in. When you're getting out of this truck, I don't want to have to scooch my foot around. And my wife gets in and out of this thing all the time with the baby, so yeah, I'm definitely going to have to think on this. I'd like them to stick out to like here, you see, and be about that low. And I'm not worried about ground clearance. There's a cross member here that's about this low, so. But I got size 13, size 14 feet, and I like a lot of room to get my foot on there. So I'm going to have to think on this, friends. I'll see what I can figure out, and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, after much thought, I cobbled together these brackets with some ugly booger welding and some spray paint. And they basically mount. They're a very tight fit, which is what I wanted, but they mount to here, and then this will bolt to the factory body seam. And what will end up happening is, I'll show you guys this. So let me get this together. Little persuader. Here's how those will look. And like I said, I can bolt through the floor right there, and then these will bolt to the factory body seam. I think that'll work pretty good. I think I'm going to put these somewhere about here, like this is how they'll sit. So I like that. They'll sit out far. Okay, so I drilled a couple of holes right here. These line up with the factory holes in the body seam, and one additional hole, and that's how I'm going to mount these. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a couple of pieces of pipe and make a couple of struts, maybe mount them to here on an angle to that other seam and keep this from twisting. I am a big fella, so if you're lightweight, I'm sure you won't need that, but heavyweights like me tend to bend, break, and destroy everything. So anyway, I'm going to get these mounted. I'm happy to get another project done. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the factory clips and put them on the front like this. And I'll just use the factory hardware, which should hold this, I think. So we'll find out. The more I know, the less I know, right? Okay, let me grab 2 bolts. Oh, that's wobbly. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to do something to reinforce this thing, I reckon. Okay, and in an attempt to stiffen that, the top of that channel is there. And where's my other hole? Right there. Oh, look, somebody lost a screw there back in the day. Okay, so I'm going to put two fasteners there and see if I can stiffen this up. Well, here they are mounted. And they're nice. But here's the problem, friends. I've heard that about this style. Well, I heard about it after I ordered them. I'm going to have to make some brackets that go on an angle to the frame or to the cab. Probably to the cab, because the cab is rubber mounted. But, yeah, that's the long and the short of these. Maybe if I put a brace inside the cab, but you can see like the whole floor is bending. I don't like that, so I'm going to see what I can whip up here. This is the final product, but I put a couple of pieces of pipe on there as brackets, and now I can get in and out. These are nice and stiff. There's a little bit of flex to them, but I mean, the truck's moving as well, so I'm not really too concerned about it. But yeah, I'm glad I did what I did. Way nicer than the ones that were on here. And those other ones just collected garbage and debris. Here's the finished steps. Again, brackets with the factory fasteners. Okay, bracketed to the seam. And then, yeah, it's crude, but it's just galvanized pipe installed. One to this factory seam and one to here. And I mean, once I put those on, no flex. So I'm happy. One on the front, one on the back. Right on. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. A little bit of a different video. It's kind of dark in here and dingy, but that's what I was doing today. So I figured I'd let you guys jump in and hang out in the shop with me. Again, I'm really happy I did that because that one running board was getting to be treacherous, and it was starting to angle down, and I was slipping off of it, and the other one was rickety, and I was starting to get worried about my wife with our child, putting the child into the back of the truck, slipping, and that wouldn't be a good deal. So anyhow, if you buy universal steps like those, they may not be universal. I'm not even sure what brand they are. If I can figure that out, I'll put it in the title or something. But anyhow, friends, let's get to a question of the day. Today's question of the day didn't have a name on it, but it's a question I've had many, many, many times. And the question is, why do builders use engine assembly silicone like this? This is the stuff I use, Permatex, Motoseal. When most builders have a lathe, if you're going to do a gasket delete, you could just cut another 15, 18,000 off the base of the cylinder and put a gasket back in there. Well, the answer to that, simply for me, I can't speak for other builders, but for me is I've experienced more gasket failures than I have Motoseal failures. In fact, all the years I've been using Motoseal, you guys have seen it on this channel. I've been gluing saws together since I've had this channel. I have only had one base gasket leak from Motoseal, and that was a saw that I assembled on a cold winter day, and the shop was kind of cold. And so I use Motoseal because, quite frankly, it just doesn't fail. If you put it on thin on both surfaces and cinch it down on clean surfaces, might I say, you won't have a failure. So that's why I do it. And I've had more gaskets fail, especially right here. Right here. Okay, that's a 372, especially when you port them. When you go in and start hogging these transfers out like I do, this surface will get thinner, and often a gasket just won't be able to handle it, and it'll pop out, it'll blow out through the side of the transfer. So anyhow, that's why I do it, and I'm sure that's why a lot of other people do it. Engine assembly silicone like Motoseal, it lasts and holds together. And I have saws I glued together years and years ago that are still running on this shelf. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Take her easy. I'll see you guys in a couple days. Later.